Today's meditation or mindfulness is based on the teachings of Krishna, the originator of yoga. Let me put it in a simple way. The car is used to take you to a liquor store or a food store. And we have the same experience. We are hungry, either for a liquor or for food. Who has to make a right decision? Ask yourself. Now, when the intellect is impure, dictated by the mind, intellect makes the right choice. It claims, going to the liquor store is same thing like going to the food store. Just check it. Understand that clearly. The mind finds pleasure in both. One is for survival and other is habit and addiction. So our Krishna uses the word Mamata. So state of the mind is either Mamata or Samata. Mamata, mind is crazy, obsessed, anxious, reacting, claiming happiness is outside. And Samata, mind has left the world, even living in the world. And Samata, the literal translation, Samata is equanimity of the mind. And equanimity of the mind is the state of mindfulness. And just opposite is Mamata. So while explaining, Krishna says, Sukh dukkhe samo bhutva, labho alabho jaya jayo. Sukh dukkhe, sorrow, happiness. Labh alabh, profit and loss. Jaya ajayo, victory and defeat. Can I maintain the state of equanimity in the mind? Then I can fight the battle of life at any point of time. Now apply this in daily life. Honey, take the same example, I always give that same example. I was giving a private lesson and so the women told me, I don't have any problem with my husband. Why you bring the same example? Mamata is still there. So I kept quiet. I said, okay, I will not give any example like this. So understand profit and loss, victory and defeat. It is the same thing. In Mamata, we are defeated all the time. And that is the cause of our anxiety, reaction, stress, suffering, problem. But the Krishna says, refuse to be miserable. How? Samata. So can I say the meditation is a process and a method to help the mind release Mamata and discover the natural state of equanimity, mindfulness, whether you say nothingness or mindfulness. Take another example. Pay attention to it. Here and now, you can be in the state of meditation without doing the practice. The real self using instruments of body, mind, intellect, dictated by Mamata, leads to suffering. I gave this first example. Car, I am using the car, leading me to a store to fulfill, to satiate, to seek pleasure outside, causes the suffering. Now see the entire scenario, the different scenario, the real self using the same instruments, influenced by the treasures of the self. What is that treasure? Peace, happiness, love, wisdom leads to creativity, harmony, love, wisdom in personal, professional, social lives. That easy is what I say mindfulness is. So look at these masters, they have used different terms, but ultimately it is the mind facing to the world, mind facing to the self. And you can be aware here and now. So when many people say, no, I had lot of thoughts, I cannot focus, where the mind is, you know it by this principle. And I have lot of thoughts, but not influenced by anyone, where the mind is facing. We need to contemplate and reflect on that. The contemplation and reflection on the principle becomes an application. Look at the smartphone. Look at the screen, look at the TV, look at the satellite. And if you leave all the principles, you do not contemplate, there is no application, we continue to suffer. Going little deeper with the same Mamata and Samata. So Krishna says, Sukha Dukkhe Same Bhutva Labhu Alabhu Jaya Jayo. Is my mind is not influenced and dictated by what is happening in the world outside. Is it possible or not? Yes, it is possible. Mindfulness makes it possible. Meditation makes it possible. Whether you say purify the mind, whether you say the mind should start facing to the self, but here is a take so that we can start reflecting on what is happening in my mind when there is a mamata. Question comes, I have lot of thoughts, why? Every thought has an object, has an image, and the mind has given value to that object or a person. What is that value? Value means what? Think of it. Value means what? If you say value, literally it means a price. It may mean importance. It may mean the cost. It may mean the benefit. So let us take the meaning benefit. The mind says, I will benefit if I like you, if I like a person, an object. So the wishing, the wanting is created in the mind. With a liking. So the moment we like, we start thinking, thoughts enters into the mind, without knowing me, and these constant thinking leads me to attachment. Attachment leads me to obsession, and obsession, all the factors together, is mamata. So, how the mind works in the world and that causes the suffering. So, I give value to the possessions and objects, things in the world. First, value to the possession, objects, it builds up a strong ego. Value given to my work, I'm obsessed. I have a couple of friends here and they say, I'm awfully busy. Every day they get totally tired, they sleep, and the next day they are running, running, and running. Value given to the work, not working smartly with a clarity. And the third value is highly dangerous on the path of meditation. I know. Now I have done it. I have an experience. So who is saying this? The value given to claim that I know. It leads to the pride. Look at the entire journey, the way the Krishna explains. One is tamasic. I'm drawing an attention to Risla. We talk a lot about tamasic, rajasic, and sattvic. So that these three mamata are always at work if you don't live in peace and happiness. And what the master says, equanimity in the state of whatever is happening in the world, it has to happen. Mamata and Samata. So now see, if I take the principle of Patanjali, the moment the mamata starts working in the mind is full of thoughts, feelings, sensations related to objects, related to, oh no, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. I have one student here. Normally, my habit is to reach about 10 minutes before the session. And I'm ready most of the time, even for online journey. And I explained to him, this is, I'm always, let me remain free. The mind enjoys the freedom if I reach 10 minutes before. There is a clarity. He applied the same in his professional life. Last week he was telling me that, I reached 15 minutes before, so I have a clarity that what I am going to present to my clients and how I'm going to present and maintaining that state of equanimity. So the last point before we start our journey of mindfulness, when the mind is dictated by mamata, it leads to klesha. Klesha means suffering in my life. And the chain of the mamata, chain of the klesha is avidya. We return again. Ignorance, incomplete knowledge of who am I. That leads to building of ego, avidya. Next is asmita. And how the asmita stays? Because of strong likes and dislikes in the world. And the fifth cause of suffering is, I don't know, yearning desire to live, work. and think, don't know where I'm going. That is the true example of Mamata. So let us start with our journey of